Hello, hello. Welcome to Tech Ascent, the podcast where we dive into the trends, strategies, and success stories that are reshaping the tech landscape as we know it today. I'm your host, Oliver Clingain. I'm also the founder of Ascension, the premier biz development partner within tech. Today, we're joined by Oleg Shilovitsky, the co-founder and CEO of OpenBOM. Oleg, welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you on. It's a pleasure to meet you. Oleg, would you mind telling the audience a little bit about yourself and what you do with OpenBOM?
Yes, what we do at OpenBOM is that we help manufacturing companies and engineering teams to organize their information and organize their processes. Manufacturing is a complex process, and it's a lot of information that needed. Like you think about you cooking your meal, you need to buy ingredients, you need to prepare your tools, you need to organize it so you will get a nice dinner. Consider a product as a nice dinner, but it's much more complex. So we help companies to organize all this information so they will be able to ship products and everything that you see around yourself. Those are products that made this way and other, but from metal, plastic, electronics, software, it's all complex products.
Very cool, very cool. And Oleg, you obviously co-founded this company. What gap did you see in the market? What skills did you have prior to this that made you want to found OpenBOM?
Well, that's a great question. Thank you for asking. The major gap and the major trend is that the environment where we live is changing, and we are becoming more and more digital, and that's obviously come in many ways to businesses, and it comes first to us as a consumers in our everyday life. So, and many things that we are absolutely regular to see in our day-to-day life. Like I'm getting in the car and navigation system is telling me that at this time I usually go to drive my kids. So there are many, many things that we taken for granted in our everyday life. And you think about manufacturing and engineering, this is not. Like a lot of systems are completely different, still using a lot of very outdated system. But as I see the generation of customers and generation of engineers is changing, new people are coming, companies are becoming distributed and located in different places. It requires new system. How I like to say, you cannot build new products with old technologies. You have new technologies to build great products.
hmm Very cool. And Oleg, how long ago did you found this company?
Yeah, we found a company before COVID, and then we've been trying our mojo and trying to find like where how to sell. So we sell in around 2019. So this is where we started to sell.
Awesome, awesome. So flash forward 6 years later now, 2025. What new technology trends are you seeing in the space?
Well, I think I would not be very original, and I would say that AI is changing a lot. And since we've seen ChatGPT in 2022, the trajectory is changing a lot in terms of what is around us. But I have to admit that we came well prepared for this because one of the fundamental elements of our vision is that we focus on data because data is a power. You remember 100 years ago, everyone was trying to create a factory on the bank of the river. Why? Because it was a power, right? Look in now in last 20 years, who get the most of the power is the people that get access to data. So that's why our focus is that we want to give data to our customers so it will empower their decisions and it will allow to them to manufacture better products faster.
hmm Nice. And with data, sometimes it gets lost in translation. Do you have certain strategies in place to kind of educate, build that awareness around the value of data when speaking to new prospects?
Yeah, you see, the biggest problem is that everyone understands it until the moment of time they want to make a change.
Hmm.
And change is internal. Like no matter how bad process that you have, this is the process that you have. We can think about ourselves the same. So the same as company. Team was doing things for 10 years in a very inefficient way. And they know they are doing it in a very inefficient way. But to make a change for them, it's hard. So I would say the biggest challenge in the industry and the biggest challenge in adopting technology is actually changing people and changing companies the way they work. So you need to push them. You need to give them nice incentives. You need to help them. You need to identify painful problems, and that's what will force them to change.
For sure, for sure. And Oleg, obviously, AI's obviously become a massive trend. Data's become a massive trend. How do you see that impacting the manufacturing space moving forward?
There are a couple of things that I see very fundamental in terms of how companies in manufacturing are changing. So first, like we have software everywhere. So that's a huge trend that impacts manufacturing. I can tell you I have a toaster on the first floor in my house, and for some reason I figure out that there's a Wi-Fi card in this toaster. I mean, like we've been almost ready to see TV in the refrigerator door. But the Wi-Fi card and toaster was a little bit surprising. Apparently, it has an application that can send you a message, your toast is ready. And I found this ridiculous, but it comes in so many places, in so many ways. The garage remote systems with cameras that connects to Amazon application. That someone who bringing you products from Amazon can open your garage based on the camera and getting in and put it in. So there are a lot of complexities around software, and that's what creates a tremendous amount of challenges for manufacturing companies. Absolutely, because they release products and then they can introduce features later. The second thing that I see a lot in manufacturing is the switch from manufacturing products to delivery services. We have a customer who is delivering electric, self-automated flying airplanes. So, but
pretty unique.
But they don't sell airplanes. So they sell services that these airplanes are delivering. We have a customer who sells service, but part of the service is the fleet of drones. And when you need to deliver this type of services, the complexity of data is growing exponentially. Why? It's because you're not shipping product and forgetting about this product. You actually need to maintain this product. You need to operate this product. You need to perform all these tasks that needs to be done. So it's a growing level of complexity. And the last, probably I should have been saying it first, it's an absolutely crazy supply chains. Like we get COVID with supply chain, now we have tariffs with supply chain, now we have all these optimizations that the manufacturing companies need to do, and it's pretty crazy if you need to make all this assessment. So I would say those three in my top list of crazy challenges for every manufacturing company in the world, and we figured out how to drive from point A to point B and avoiding traffic. But manufacturing in the same, I need to drive from point A to idea, from the idea of the product to delivery of the product, avoiding supply chain obstacles, avoiding some crisis in manufacturing schedules, design mistakes, how to do it. I need to get the systems to do it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, lots of moving parts around kind of the internal, external factors, I'm sure.
Yep.
And Oleg, with this big influx of new technologies, being a tech company yourself, how do you look at a lot of the industry right now? Do you see a lot of threats out there? Do you see a lot of opportunities out there? How are you looking at it as a co-founder and CEO?
I see more opportunities. I think that there is a huge transformation also in the industry and also in the people's mind. So that all creates an opportunity. And everything is moving faster, and technologies are moving faster, but the problems are staying the same. So, and I think that's the tremendous opportunity in the industry to drive the shift. And everything takes longer. If you think about challenges, as a co-founder, as an entrepreneur, you're always ahead of time. So you're always kind of running 10 years before the time. everything takes longer, and the technologies are easy. That's what is very hard is people. So people are hard. And when you need to intertwine technologies with people, this is where it gets really complex. And what we do, it's the pure intersection of the people and technologies. On one side, we need to deliver technologies and we help with the data and organization of processes. But people are part of these processes and you cannot exclude them. So that's why it creates a lot of challenges and opportunities.
I'm sure. And Oleg, being the CEO, balancing people, balancing technologies, how do you go about maintaining a culture, building a culture that is innovative, that's future driven? How do you go about building that?
Well, that's a great question. You know, when you start a company, you think about many things, and what I've learned that customers is the first thing that you need to think about. For everyone who comes with the technological background like myself, this is not an obvious thing. So, but starting from the customers in mind, starting with the problems in mind from customers, this is the only way to become successful, because then you have customers that you can help. And I always say that if a company has customers, you can fix many other things in the company. But if a company doesn't have customers, you cannot fix anything. It just doesn't make sense. So from that standpoint, like forcing culture around customers, this is something that we do every day, and bringing this culture to the team that we work for customers. And there are a lot of things that we build as a processes that helps us to help customers, and this is what kind of creating a connection between engineers and between everyone in a company that connects them to the customers. This is the most powerful thing that you can make in order to develop a culture. Because that's the most fundamental thing of the culture, of how to build something that customer needs. And if you do it, you can figure out everything else.
For sure. And at a very simple level, it's no happy customers, no culture, no business.
Absolutely.
And like over the past 6 years of growing OpenBOM, what other kind of lessons have you learned along the way that have really kind of helped you propel as an entrepreneur? Whether that be a piece of advice from a mentor, certain books you've read that have kind of guided your vision as a CEO.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I again and again to prove to myself is that things will get messy, and you will need to go through them to fix them. So nothing works immediately the way you want, and all the stories that we get a great idea and then it was an overnight success for this great idea. So between these two events there is a 10 years usually.
Yeah.
So and that's why I mean this is the most kind of I would say the most important thing that I would like to say to everyone who is playing in this game of creating new businesses and creating technologies is that just get ready for a mess, and then that's build a team around you that you can trust and they can help you. So that's what the most important thing.
Mm-hmm, for sure. And building off of that, that's something I've learned as well. It's just everything takes longer than expected.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I also, you touched on it there. It's one of my favorite quotes is, it takes 10 years to become an overnight success. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes that people don't see, whether it be for even Nike. I don't know if you've ever read the book Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, but some of the biggest names around the world took a lot to get off the ground.
It's very true.
And Oleg, looking forward now for OpenBOM, you've mentioned as an entrepreneur, you're always kind of looking 10 years ahead. For OpenBOM, what's the vision over the next year? What do you want to see happen in 2025? What's the vision, the mission? What's the goal?
The mission for us is to remains the same and bring the power of data to companies and to help them to make right decisions. So the vision is that if you look around you, how you use all technologies on day to day, moving manufacturing to that level, and helping manufacturing companies to manufacture products in predictable way, fast. That is the mission for the industry, and I see myself very much aligned with this. So if you think about this, software companies now much better in predictability and producing software. So now take everything that we learned in software industry for the last 15 years, and we've been building software. Like, I'm reflecting back on what I did with software like 10, 20 years ago. Like, we've been shooting to the moon and hope to make a release. And now we don't build software like this now. And I think the manufacturing industry is going through the same process of innovation and changes. So we will be able to deliver and develop products, software build products, in a much more predictable way.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. And from just this little conversation we've had today, I can tell you've laid a great foundation to make that happen and capitalize on what's to come in 2025.
Thank you.
And Oleg, and for everybody listening, I'll be sure to tag your LinkedIn down below. I'll be sure to tag OpenBOM's website down below. But is there anywhere else you'd like people to go check you out?
Well, I mean, we made ourselves available online on everything. So the funniest story that I bring from our pre-sale conversations is that we had a pre-sale prospect that told us that his boss recommended him one software, but he started to talk to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT recommended them to check OpenBOM. So I think it's a trend. People are talking to ChatGPT. So make your product in the way so ChatGPT will know about them.
Most definitely, most definitely. If you're looking for OpenBOM, ask ChatGPT. They'll send you in the right direction. But Oleg, everybody listening, thank you for coming on. Oleg, I appreciate your time. I appreciate the insights you shared with me, with the audience. Truly appreciate it.
Thank you very much, and happy Friday and a good weekend.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.